is going to be done by O'Neill A.R. Phillips.
Thank you very much. And let me say good afternoon to the many viewers and to our followers on Monrovia Later News. Today is a great day in Liberia for the fact that we are in the presence of one of Liberia's astute citizens and statesmen. And Monrovia Later News Honor Group, we usually certify people every year who have supported or one way or the other helped the society. So it is with great pleasure and honor that today we have come to bestow a well-deserved honor upon Honorable John Akel Ballout Jr. for his exceptional contributions to political advocacy and humanitarian services in Maryland County and Liberia at large. Honorable John Akel Ballout has been a steadfast champion for positive change and progress in our nation. As senior senator of Maryland County then, the name John Ballout was a household name in the Republic. He was widely hailed and considered one of the most respected citizens on Capitol Hill. As a result, he was nicknamed Barack Obama of Liberia. After serving the Liberian Senate, the tough-talking Senator Ballout went silent on the political stage as he went into the diplomatic field as Liberia ambassador to Qatar. His unwavering dedication to political advocacy and his tireless efforts in advancing Liberians' living standard have led him to contest the 2020 May 10th senatorial election 3 months after his return from sick bed. After losing that election, the intellectual ambassador, Senator John A. Balo, resurrected his political image to an even greater point in the last 3 years. In 2021, Ambassador Ballout established a people-centered movement called We the People. The mission of We the People is uniting the population in common front by identifying national and community-based issues and elevating them to the national agenda and collectively supporting this agenda across the country, thereby confirming the principle, united we stand, divided we fall. On September 2, 2023, Ambassador John A. Ballout, as head of the We the People, led hundreds of Liberians in a thank you march to the United States Embassy, calling for more sanctions on corrupt government officials. Ambassador Ballout again has for many years led the fight against illicit drugs use in Liberia. The ambassador has held the legislature accountable, and he has been very critical of national government on national issues. Ahead of the recent general and presidential election, Ambassador Ballout tried to reunite the two lead opposition candidates, Ambassador Joseph N. Boyka and Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. He led hundreds of citizens into a solidarity march calling for unity within the opposition while proposing a Boyka-Cummings ticket. With less than 2 months to the election, Ambassador Ballout established his membership with the Unity Party and in no time became the loudest voice in defense of the Unity Party alliance. The critical and eloquent Honorable John Ballout took on a campaign, speaking at different communities, radio and TV shows, and intellectual forums across Monrovia, Nima, Magibi, River G, and Maryland counties. As a former senator of Maryland County and former Liberian ambassador to Qatar, Honorable Balo has exemplified leadership and a deep sense of responsibility towards the welfare of the Liberian people. In the recent tragedy at the United Party headquarters, where a car ran into citizens who were celebrating their victory, Ambassador John A. Balo was the only national leader at that time at the United Party headquarters at around 1 a.m. and at the GFA hospital up to 3:05 a.m. in the morning, identifying with the victims and their families. We later got from the GFA administrators that Ambassador Balo paid over $800 United States to Roger Pharmacy to initiate medical materials that were needed to save the lives of the people that night. Today, we are proud to certificate you and acknowledge you, Honorable Balo, a man who has done this and many others, and yet doesn't go out and tragic glory and attention to himself. This is the mark of leadership. It is of no surprise that he is referred to as the Barack Obama of Liberia. It is of no surprise that as senator, he was widely hailed and celebrated, even among his own police. It is of no surprise that he was certificated as Senator of the Year many times. And therefore, it is no surprise that we, the Monrovia latest news media group online, congratulate and certificate him as the outstanding political advocate of the year 2023. Having said that, I will at this time like to present unto one of Liberia's astute statesmen, someone who time in and time out has always been there to advocate for the Liberian people when need be. Honorable Balo will not just read these words written on this certificate for your honor. It reads, Monrovia latest news online media group, certificate of recognition presented to Honorable John Akel Ballout, former senator of Maryland County and former Liberia's ambassador to Qatar as outstanding political advocate of the year 2023. Congratulations, sir.
So that was for the presentation of the certificate to the honoree. Now we're going to take a special remark from the honoree coming up shortly, folks, wherever you are following us. This is Monrovia Weekend News coming to you right here as we bring to you the certification program right here.
Well, I don't know where to begin. I just want to, maybe I should start by showing the certificate. Mr. O'Neill and the rest of your team at the Monrovia Latest News Online platform or network. I want to thank you for this honor. It may surprise you to note that you are the first, to bring such recognition out. And because we're not expecting it, because we don't do it because of the recognition, we were not expecting it. So when you called, my special assistant, Mr. Bati, and he called me when I said, we'll be glad to receive you, to hear what you have to say. Little did I know that it was such an elaborate, well-organized, see that in media and covering it, presenting me with such a beautiful, beautiful certificate. Nicely framed, shows a lot of planning had gone into this work. I am deeply touched by your action here today. Sincerely, I have, over the years, as a senator, received countless certifications like these. But throughout this political turmoil that we have been through in recent years, and the ups and downs, and these elections and the results, yes, we've received people, numerous calls, commending us whenever we are in the society, in the community, congratulating us. I say us because me and many others who've been, many of us who have all participated in this process. But to receive this, I'm very touched and moved. And I will say a few words to this regard. Whatever we do is for this country, and judging by your ages, for people of your generation. Some of us growing up in Liberia, we see the kind of care and love that our parents could afford to give us because of the society we live in. As time went by and the years progressed, we've seen serious degradation of our socio-economic and political condition in this country. That brought us to the point that we had to end up at a civil war. First, military takeover, civil war, years of transition, bitterness, hatred, suspicion. I describe Liberia today as a situation where we are stuck in a political mood. We're not developing because we're not in a development mood. We're stuck in a political mood. And today, some of us from the Unity Party side are jubilating, celebrating our victory over what we refer to as this failed government. But it's not the first time we're reaching here. We achieved that a few years ago, 2005, where we, Unity Party, emerged victorious and produced President Sirleaf. That took this country from the ground, from the knees, to where we were able to have some hope of our future again. Rebuild all the infrastructure, took salaries up, brought in banks, brought in this, those schools and clinics and hospitals, put in structural reforms that saw the country improving. Every year Liberia was improving. Salaries were going up, budgets were going up, revenue was increasing, investment increasing, diplomatic missions increasing. In all of these things, all aspects were increasing. Then we ended up with the last government. And without mixing our words, without pretending on any circumstance, we have lost majority of the gains we've made, and we're back to square one. So today we celebrate a new victory, where we see a new horizon, where again we are hopeful. The whole country is relieved. In a few days we'll have a new president. Yes, it will be better. But what real guarantee do we have as a people that from today, 20 years from now, we're not going to be on a seesaw, up and down, good government, bad government, good government, bad government? When are we going to get out of this political mood and going to sail smooth sailing on the smooth water of peaceful, uninterrupted progress? Because that's the only way a nation can develop. So we have to set ourselves to work to think how we can find that one indispensable, unique solution to our situation that can guarantee uninterrupted development and political stability. I will clearly say, what we practice today, in my view, competitive democracy. We fight each other to get the crown. We fight each other to maintain the crown. We fight each other to drag each other down to take the crown again. We fight it. In our institutions, our society, we're not strong enough to withstand this kind of shocks so we break down as a society. You mentioned we the people. We the people have started to embark on research, on seeking that unique path to uninterrupted development and democratic progress. We have developed a concept called complementary democracy, where instead of competing and dividing each other, we support and complement each other. A society that guarantees freedom of speech and affiliation and association. A society that guarantees accountability and transparency. A society that guarantees equal rights, all of us, irrespective of our tribal, religious, political divide. As a thinking people, we ought to keep seeking our way. And so the media will engage you. I'm just taking time off today to speak to this because of the opportunity that you provided here. We also like to thank specifically you, the media. I remember encountering Monrovia latest news the first time in Maryland when your correspondent, Lincoln Dahlia, followed me throughout the trip, followed all of us. But because of him, because of Monrovia latest news, we had an opportunity by which the entire country could hear our views, even though we're speaking in Maryland. That is the role of the media. That's why you refer to as the Pope Estate. You have significantly played that role. I want to also take this opportunity to highlight one particular individual, Stanton Witherspoon. He has been in the media, in the news, for many reasons over the period of review. But I'm going to stick to my recognition as you have recognized me. I think Stanton, and I want to say this publicly, has done something in this country that we haven't experienced before. He created the biggest media network that allowed the citizen to be informed even at the point where the government tried to suppress the views and the information dissemination of the citizens. He stood tall, he resisted all of the in-house fight. They went their ups and downs, was spoon, live TV shows, and the news dissemination, the network continued uninterrupted. Because of that, Liberians were informed of things that they would never have had access to. I want to speak specifically to him. Stanton, if you're listening, congratulations to you and your network. And I want more than your network. I want to specifically congratulate him for that personal drive to making it a reality. We thank a lot of other major stakeholders. You know, in every war, there are the unknown soldiers. There are people who took more blows than some of us, who suffer greater blunt of this political period than some of us, whether from the ruling party or from the opposition. Those names will never be recognized. Some of them are dead today. But we're going to take this time to recognize them. Now let me speak specifically to the younger generation. That includes a lot of you here today. Politics, yes, it is a way of life in this country and every other country of the world. But what is more important is how you factor the interests of your generation in the politics that you preach. People like us who've been there, done that, have the experience of it all, some of us would exploit you. Some of us will engage you in the right direction. You ought to be smart and conscious enough to know that you need to stop fighting each other and think on that path that is good for the next generation. What is that path? Any government that prioritizes your education, your health, your access to opportunities of the country, your security, your social security. These are the people we need to follow. If today the Unity Party that I support, that I'm a member of, if we're delving in this direction and leading this country in the direction, I urge you all to fall in line and give support to this initiative, not because it's Unity Party, it's because of the direction we're taking. If we should deviate from this direction, then we urge you to hold us accountable again, because we have deviated from a path that was designed to ensure your survivability. So I just want to thank you for this. I'm really, really touched by this. I don't know how you follow on some of these. I don't know how you follow on some of these. Yes, at some point I've seen some of you, I saw the people at the hospital, I saw you at this place. But of course, when you mentioned that, I was following this thing on Spoon when I got it. And then when I saw people out there, 1 a.m., 12, I mean, I couldn't be lying down in my bed with them. So we had to go there. And when later on found out at the hospital, I did a new scene where people were there. We had to go there. And they said to know that even at that point, people were already dying as we approached them. So I just want to thank you for noticing all of this. It's true that you may not go out to do this, but that's what the leadership is about. Sometimes when you think no one is watching, people are watching. When you think no one cares, there are others who care. And so for you, Monrovia Latest News Network, to being so meticulous in your follow-up on my activities, to the point that you're mentioning it like this, I'm moved, I'm touched. And I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So on behalf of me, myself, my family, and to a lot of the other people who believe and follow me, I want to say thank you for this certificate. Thank you for this honor. I will cherish this. I will place this in one of the most important parts in my office or in my home. And I will look up with it with great pride. And I'm sure my family looking at this one will say, yeah, our father didn't expose himself for nothing. People who recognize it because of this, we are where we are. And we're glad to have played a role to make this happen. All of this is because we believe in the change, the better for this country. All of this because we believe, as President-elect Joseph Boakai, back to Vice President-elect Jeremiah Parapon, we're able lieutenants, we're capable enough to transform this country. We follow it with a steadfast conviction to the bottom of our hearts, and we stand to defend it to the core. Thank you. May God bless us all.